First day of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry and the evidence by the KZN Police Commissioner Madlanga as he bring in DA Member of Parliament as well as Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police in Parliament, Ian Cameron. Ian, always good to have you on the SABC. So the warning from Madlanga today was that basically the criminal justice system is at the risk of total collapse. Can this inquiry prevent that from happening?
I think the inquiry can assist in possibly getting us back in the right direction again. To be honest with you, I want to take one step further. I actually think in some aspects in the criminal justice system, the wheels have already come off. It's not a matter of still having to come off. There are pockets of excellence, pockets of, let's call it just pockets of basic service delivery in parts. But the criminal justice system is not serving the people at the level that it should at the moment. And it's critical for me to say that we are in deep trouble. And I honestly hope that this is an opportunity to turn the tide. And
your name came up today in Mkwanazi's evidence. He says you are one of the people he spoke to after he'd learned that there was this plan by the police minister, Senzo Mchunu, to disband the political killings task team. What do you recall from when he reached out to you? What were the conversations at the time? And is there anything that the Police Portfolio Committee in Parliament should have done that it did not do in those early stages of what is now morphed into a bigger crisis?
Sure, yeah. So first of all, the first contact was actually after National Police Day in January, when we invited him to come and share why he was speaking about a smear campaign that was ongoing and what exactly was meant by that. Later on, he had contacted me about the closing of the political killing task team, about unhappiness regarding that. Our committee then invited him, along with the Minister of Police and the National Commissioner, to come and resolve the matter, to come and speak about it. There was a presentation by the Office of the Minister, and General Mkwanazi also had an opportunity to speak. Unfortunately, there was no real response from the minister, apart from the fact that he was just, an associate of Mr. Brown Mogotsi. So that was the only part that was really touched on. We had two sessions, and unfortunately, from a parliamentary point of view, we can't interfere in operational matters. That was basically it.
So you can't interfere in operational matters. We appreciate that because there is this constant separation of powers in terms of who can do what, right, as per the laws of this country. But as far as what Parliament is empowered to do you feel at this stage that you exhausted every avenue available to you that could have perhaps helped get to the bottom of this faster than where we are now, where there's ultimately an ad hoc committee that's had to be established, and indeed the Madlanga inquiry?
Just apart from the operational matters, criminal charges were laid against the Minister of Police for misleading Parliament regarding Mr. Brown Mogotsi. There were ethics complaints also laid against the Minister of Police for the same. So I think there was some action. And I think a focused ad hoc committee, as all the parties agreed with, is a good way of zooming in on that. To be honest with you as well, just from a police committee point of view, we don't have the alone capacity to tackle every single thing. And at that stage, we didn't have the detail that we have now. We wanted to open the door for General Mkwanazi, as he also said today. We did open that door. I also think it's important that the National Commissioner speaks up. He was there. He never intervened between General Mkwanazi or Minister Mchunu. And I think it's important that he himself also speaks and says exactly what the issue is. It would be unfair to expect us to take up the role of the National Commissioner in his absence of taking action.
And Ian, to our viewers, what you're hearing is our next guest, I think that's the EFF Sinawa Tambo, joining on a separate line, I guess a GNU of a different kind between the DA and the EFF tonight on this call, Ian. But just lastly, while I have you then, on what the Commission is expected to do, what do you think the question should be to Fanima Simula, the National Police Commissioner? You basically now have just suggested that he fell short, to paraphrase, in managing the situation. And would you, then, as someone whom Mkwanazi spoke to, would you appear to give evidence at the inquiry? Have you been approached yet?
I haven't been approached. Obviously, I will give any cooperation that I need to give. I've got no problem with that. The National Commissioner, I just think it's important that he speaks up. He has mentioned things. He did have a press conference, etc. Him and General Mkhwanazi have spoken quite a bit, as far as I know, and from what General Mkhwanazi said during the press briefing. But I think it's important that the National Commissioner's Office communicates on this. It looks strange from the outside when a provincial commissioner and a minister seem to be at loggerheads with each other, but your national commissioner is quiet. And that too indicates to us that there's a procedural problem with regards to the South African Police Service. But nevertheless, the point is just that they need to speak up. There's no use in Parliament being involved, the entire commission, etc., but the actual so-called CEO of the police is not taking charge of the matter.
And Sanzo Mchunu, is he done, regardless of what this inquiry finds? Do you think he's a fit and proper person to return as minister?
I personally think it would take a lot for him to be able to return. I don't see it happening, to be honest. I think the amount of things that have been said that have really contaminated the water, figuratively speaking, is so serious that it would be very difficult to gain public trust again after everything that has happened.
Ian Cameron, DA Member of Parliament, as well as Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police.